My name is Nina. You probably know me as Mississippi and or Batman from Dogster, and I'm here to talk about how to get your dog started on a raw food diet. First of all, a raw food diet in its simplest form is raw meat, bones, and organs. Half of the organs need to be liver, and the other half is other secreting organs. Your ratios are 80% meat, 10% edible bone, and 5% liver, 5% other secreting organ. Organs whose primary function is that, like a muscle, like heart or stomach or uterus, do not count as organs. It's the part that secrete, such as kidney, spleen, pancreas, thymus, sweetbreads, which is usually thymus, I think, ovaries and testicles, that kind of fun stuff. That is your secreting organ. So, when most people think about bones, they think about things like this. These are exciting to my dogs. Kind of beef bones that have been cut and are filled with marrow bones. Dogs love these. They love to chew on them, but they're not what we're talking about when we're talking about bones. What we're usually talking about are cuts like this chicken quarter. We have the drumstick right here and the thigh. This is edible bone. We're going to talk about steps you'll need to take in switching your dog to a prey model raw diet. First of all, let me define prey model for you. Prey model means that we're basically, as humans, reconstructing a prey animal that our dogs would get out in the wild. So, instead of feeding, say, only chicken quarters, very few dogs only eat back halves of chickens forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Basically, they are going to eat whole prey. So, you can do this either by feeding whole prey, for instance, whole feather-on chicken, or you can do what's called frankenprey. So here, I have a chicken quarter, so that's like a thigh and a leg. See in my freezer, I've got another chicken quarter, and I've got some ribs. So, well, this is lamb ribs, so this is kind of where the franken part comes in. So we've got it from different animals, but basically we're reconstructing all relevant parts of a prey animal. This is why organs are important. This is why, hi Batman, muscle meat is important, and this is why bones are important, because they're in a whole prey. Okay? Easy. Oh, and here are my organs. I feed a little mix. I'll show you what it looks like. Can't show you what it smells like because that's super awesome. You can't get that through the internet. Ta-da! Custom mix for me. Actually for my dogs, I'm not going to eat that. Who am I kidding? Alright, so I'll put that back in my freezer. And we're going to talk about what you will need to do to get started.
Now it's time to get serious and start doing your research. I've compiled a website that I call My Dogs Are Hungry, where I have compiled a bunch of links together of all of my favorite basic raw information. Another good resource is the So You're Interested in Feeding Raw thread on the Dogster Raw forum. It has a lot of basic resources lined up and a lot of threads on Dogster, as well as some external sites that are full of information and will help bust a lot of the myths about raw feeding, as well as give you a whole lot of a great foundation to get started and to be a successful raw feeder. Some of my favorites of these are Summer's Prey Model Guidelines, Mistakes You Make Starting Out, and Show Me What You Eat, which has a lot of pictures of dogs enjoying their meals. Some of the great external websites are the Raw Feeding Myths, and I've shown you what some of those are as well. And then we have some rebuttals to anti-raw articles. So definitely check it out, and I've posted links in the comments. Once you've done enough research to get a good handle on the pre-model raw diet, you'll want to start feeding your dog. The first step in this is checking your dog's condition.
So, I would take my dog and I would feel kind of their body right here. Oh, Batty, You seem to be getting a little chunky. So we gotta lower his food intake. Basically, you're going to, I love this dog. You're going to see basically what their condition is. Do they need to lose weight? Do they need to gain weight? Do they need to maintain weight? You're also going to think about their activity level. As you can probably guess, Batman's activity level is pretty high. He can go forever. So, whereas Miss's activity level is lower, and so we needed to lower her food intake. The next thing you are going to do is weigh your dog. What number do you have? You can also take measurements at the chest and everything just to, if you want to track weight change, you can do that. But you're going to check their condition, activity level, and weight, and that's what you're going to need to do to plug in to the raw feeding guidelines. The weight you actually want is their ideal weight. So if you're not sure, what if I say, okay, Batman needs to lose maybe 1 pound. I would take his current weight, subtract 1, and feed based off that. So your guidelines are going to be from 2% to 3% of body weight. So if you have a 100-pound dog, because that's easy, you would feed 2 to 3 pounds a day. Usually, if you're got a kind of an average dog, when I started Mississippi off, she was young, we fed her 2.5% a day. I kind of rounded it. You do not need to feed the same weight every day. So, if I'm feeding Batman, I love dogs. If I'm feeding Mississippi 1.5 pounds a day, and I feed her 1.75 pounds one day and 1.25 pounds the next day, that's fine. It's called balance over time. What you're aiming for is a balanced diet over a long period of time, such as a week, a month, okay, not a month, maybe like 2 weeks. I would say 3 weeks tops. Okay. But for example, I feed all of my organs in one daily organ meal, one weekly organ meal. Some people feed little bits at a time. After that, what you're going to want to do is check out your local grocery stores. Check to see if you have any fun ethnic markets. And I suggest meat shopping with a friend. Very fun. The next thing you're going to do, you're also going to know any sensitivities that you know your dog has. And then you're going to go shopping. This is where it gets fun. You are not going to buy a lot of anything until you know your dog both likes it and is not allergic to it. So, like I mentioned, chicken quarters. Where did I put it? This is a chicken quarter. Chicken quarters are your new best friend. So, why wouldn't we just feed a drumstick? Because that's too small, basically, used for a lot of dogs. You want to feed about the same size as their head. Miss, will you sit? Okay, we're going to take the chicken quarter and put it, sit. Good girly. So you can kind of compare head, chicken quarter. See how she can't swallow that in one gulp? Batman will try. Okay, see how this is an appropriate size bone for Batman? Say that you've got a chicken wing, not the same size as their head. Okay, that's also a really good guideline because it works for all dogs, no matter how large or small they are. Granted, finding something as big as a Mastiff's head might involve a little bit more creativity than something as large as Batman's head. Or larger. You can also feed larger and then take away. Batman's telling me to feed him. It's really not that hard. It's this easy to get started and start feeding.
So I hope this movie helps give you an overview of where to get started. Really, the hardest part is doing your research, but it's so important. Feel free to check out my website or visit us on the Dogster Raw forums, where there's tons of people ready to help you. Thanks for watching.